got over the top of the fallen cage, we had another projection screen of a lion running across, which was blended into the background. Yes?
When you toured the studio, did they point out that we have one of the Cunningham projectors that was built for Mighty Joe?
Yes, I saw a picture of it, and I was quite amazed. We had 4 special projectors that were made by Cunningham, who worked on the Lost World, I think, as well with O'Brien. And I was surprised to see it way up here. I have 2 of them. I also have one that he used in the Lost World. Yes?
What, I noticed on them that they are capable of bipacking.
Yes.
What was that used for in rear projection? I don't understand.
Well, it was made as a bipack. We seldom used the bipack on the projectors. They did a lot of the bipacking in the camera. The water you saw flowing in the foreground was bipacked in first. And then the film wound back and blacked out, and then we exposed the animation. But O'Brien liked to do a lot of bipacking, particularly on Kong. But now with the optical printers, we used the optical printer a lot as well. But the projectors were made to be able to bipack in the projectors such things as flying birds or things of that nature. But we seldom ever used it. It was just an advantage to have it. Yes?
As an animator, did you use a lot of live-action reference, or did you create the motion in your head? Or?
Mostly created the motion. When we started the picture, we sent a man to Chicago Zoo to photograph a gorilla.
Wow.
And all he did was walk across the screen and sit down and pick his nose. So that wasn't very much help. Just that little bit of film gave us a character of a gorilla that we tried to incorporate, but you have to use your imagination most. And that's why I enjoyed working in this medium of O'Brien's rather than Pal's, because you were able to create on the set. And with the George Pal system, they cut each little figure out. They drew it like an animated cartoon first, very stylized, and then everything was cut out on the bandsaw. So any moron could come in off the street and replace the figure, one consecutive figure after the other. We had 25 figures to take one step. And it was a very costly process, and we had about 500 heads, 50 heads for each character usually. And to go in and out of the vowels, A, E, I, O, U, from a placid expression, so that you could lip sync dialogue. So this is much more convenient what I saw here, where you're animating it on the set and you don't have to have 50 heads. Any other questions?
I think I can speak for everybody in the room here when I say how special it was for all of us when you received the much deserved Academy Award. It just was right here.
Something that I prayed for, but I was happy to be recognized. I thought I was a forgotten soul for a while, because I worked in Europe for so long. We originally made our headquarters there because there were new locations for fantasy films, and I wanted to get away from the dinosaurs on the loose type of picture, which we were repeating ourselves about 3 times. First an octopus, and then an emir, and then a dinosaur. So you can't keep making those type of pictures over and over. So the 7th voyage of Sinbad was kind of a diversion that gave us a chance to expand the field of animation into wider horizons, which led to Greek mythology. So that was a lot of fun to experiment with that aspect of dimensional animation.
So like in the 7th voyage of Sinbad, Did you have help animating it, or? I mean, did you
No, I
animate
did
it
all the animation myself.
Every bit of it.
There are a lot of things I'd like to do over, but
How many minutes must it be?
I don't know. I think we finished the seventh voyage in about 8 months. And we shot it in Spain. We had to simplify it, of course, because we had a very low budget. The whole picture only cost $800,000. No, $600,000. A Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, the whole film cost $200,000. Animation and all. And made millions for Warner Brothers. I could have had a Hearst Castle if I had. So who wants one anyway?
A scene where Jason and the Argonauts is being, the Criterion is doing a special edition Laserdisc.
Yes, they are.
Are there
I
more-
did a part of the narration for it.
Are there more planned?
It's what?
Are there more of them planned, other films? that you've
Not
done?
at the moment, but there may be. I think most of our films are out on laser or tape. 20 Million Miles is out on laser, but not on tape. I bought a black market copy in Dallas. I shouldn't do that. But that's the only tape I know that's out on the market. Otherwise, it's on Laserdisc. Laserdisc hasn't caught on in England very much because it's so expensive. Everybody has to buy new equipment. I'm surprised that there are very few laser stores here in Portland. We went around yesterday looking for several films I wanted to take back with me, and nobody seemed to have Laserdiscs. They're way out in the country somewhere. They said we had to go to dig them up. It's quite amazing. Yeah.
You spend a lot of your time in the States?
Not very much, no. Our home is in London, and we do a lot of traveling in Europe, but we just come to the States for various conventions. So we've been out, I think this year, every month we've been somewhere, and we seldom get a chance to see our home or our dog. My wife's dog.
Do you use an exposure sheet, or you just animate wild?
Sometimes I use an exposure sheet that I make myself. For Mighty Joe, I use a stopwatch a lot rather than an exposure sheet. But on the seventh voyage, I had to use one to be sure to analyze. When I analyzed the background of 3 men swinging their swords, I had to know where the swords stopped. So I did make an exposure sheet for that. But most of it is freehand animation. I'm sometimes timed with a stopwatch.
You do a lot of multiple characters, like Medusa with her snakes and the skeletons and all that. How do you keep track of everyone?
Well, sometimes I don't. With Medusa, we had each snake colored a little differently. That helped. But she had, of course, the snakes had 6 joints in them, and so you had to move the tail and the head. And if the